My name is Nanain TV and I will tell you how to draw using Medibank. This time, I'm going to draw Chris and Rosie from the game called Deltarune. So this is actually fan art. So, each drawing begins with a draw a pose. For sketching, I will use a G pen because the texture is comfortable, almost the same as a regular pencil. So, let's start. To draw a pose, you can use a reference or directly draw it on the canvas. There are so many ways to draw poses. You can find them on any internet platform like YouTube, Google, or Pinterest. The most important thing is the anatomy. I'm going to draw like this. There are secret at the joint to make it easier to draw the line later. So, after the sketch is complete, we will draw the character's equipment such as hair, clothes, and eyes. For this step, I will immediately use the pen. Don't forget to change the color. I suggest using a more contrasting color to make it easier to see between layer 1 and layer 2. Also, make sure the sketch layer has a low opacity. For the second person, I still use the same color, but what's different is separate line, because the second person is a furry character. Actually, this would be a problem if you use the bucket kit, when the color can spread to other arena. But don't worry, because we can fix it later. So, the second sketch is finished. It's not too neat, but the sketch will be really used for making line art later. We have to make a neat line art, because later, it will be used for the final result. So, for the line art, I will change the color again. It depends on what you are going to use for your coloring. Since lately I will tend to wear blue, so I will use blue for this line art. The line art is finished, but actually not. Before finishing, you have to pay attention again to each line. Usually, there will be something left behind, or in your opinion, it is not neat. Better know so you don't get into a maze later. Next, we will clean up the layer area. We will collect layers containing sketch in one folder. Usually, drawing requires a lot of layers, so this technique will be very useful for grouping each type of layer. Next, I will re-examine the line art that I made before. This is optional. These thick and thin lines give the impression that the drawing is like it was hand-drawn. It also relates to each person's art style. So the line art is finished for real. Yay! Next, we will color these two characters. To make it easier, I will make a folder for one character. So the first time I will make for Chris. For coloring, there are two simple ways. First, stretch each space using a brush or one click using a bucket kit. Wearing a bucket kit is the constant method, but it has a downside too. In one area, there will be a section that was not hit, usually at the end of the line art. So we still have to check it again and patch it using the same color as the brush. There are also a coloring technique that uses only one layer for all parts. So the object is colored with one color first, then alpha lock. But if you still want to use bucket kit, it's okay. But the problem you will face are more or less like this. See?
A few moments later.
Yes, it's finally over. The technique I use is to color the same space with the same layer. I didn't separate all the space because there will be a lot of layer and it will be a mess. The base color is finished. Again, we have to pay attention to the parts that have not been colored. Before gradation, we must first determine where the light will come from. I'm going to make the light come from the right side and the shadow appear on the left. For the gradation, I still use a pen. You can use airbrush or watercolor because the difference in color will be seen slowly. Yes, we almost done. Next, we will add a highlight for the area on the right. Its point is to strengthen the direction of the light. Then, create the background. You can create your own. Don't forget to add color filter to make it look so good. Tips for placing a watermark. You can put it in the corner of the canvas, or you can put it close to the picture. In this way, your art won't be easily to be stolen. So, here are the results.